I'm with Andrew Blok. Andrew, thanks for
Hey there.
thanks for taking the time, man.
Absolutely.
From
Thanks for
Wente
having me, Tony.
Vineyards. Hey, if you would introduce yourself to
Sure
us.
thing.
I'm here at TechSom and doing a little social media seminar, and you guys are heavily invested at Wente Vineyards on the social media world. So introduce yourself, like who you are, what you do, and how long you've been with Wente, and yeah.
Absolutely. Reporting to you from the Livermore Valley, where we're sitting here at Wente Vineyards. My name's Andrew Block. I'm the marketing manager for Wente Vineyards, and besides many things, that really means that I take full control of all the social media efforts here. Been working here for about a year. Worked with a couple startup wineries before that. Have done harvest. I'm a UC Davis grad from viticulture and enology. So I've got a pretty unique background, having a real technical background. But being a millennial, young guy, I've grown up around computers. I definitely understand the medium and kind of how to use it effectively. So I've, I've been having a great time here with the family. They've been farming here for 5 generations, and it's just a great operation. I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that right there you keep a little product on your desk.
Always, always. I haven't quite opened it yet, but give me another 20 minutes and we'll see what happens.
All right. Um, so when you came a year ago to, I mean, here you come to this very established winery, right? This company that's been around for a long time, like you said, 5 generations, and here along comes. They must have had very traditional marketing efforts over those 5 generations. What was the kind of atmosphere, attitude around social media when you got there a year ago?
Definitely. Definitely a traditional company. People have been drinking Wente for a long time, and they have a really good idea of what Wente Vineyards is. So we've been kind of really trying to find new mediums and new tools for outreach. So when I got here about a year ago, they were active in all the kind of social media tools, the Facebook, the Twitter, the YouTube, kind of the standards that everyone's got going on these days. But we weren't using them to their full potential at that point. I think even within the last year, we've seen a huge uptick in, fans and followers. It's been exciting to kind of see the potential and to see the different demographics that are interacting with these channels. The first thing you think of with Facebook is you think of a bunch of young kids kind of updating you on their day or kind of what shows they're going to, stuff like that. But it's been impressive that yes, while we're getting some of that younger demographic, we're actually connecting with a lot of our older supporters as well. So we just keep pushing forward and finding new ways to utilize these tools.
Yeah, one of the things is that as you know, I come from, like, my social media world at least started really in the world of religion and blogging about faith issues and spirituality, and I'm sure you all run into people who are like, wine is my religion. And one thing that's interesting, I think, about social media, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, is that social media does lend itself to things like religion and honestly like wine, things that people are passionate about and they become experts at. Like, I don't think social media really lends itself to minivans. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you get a minivan, right? It's to get you from point A to point B. Nobody's passionate about a minivan, but people are passionate about wine. So it seems to me that's one thing that social media platforms lend themselves to, kind of these robust conversations around something like that people really
Absolutely.
love.
Absolutely. And I mean, you're dead on. People are truly passionate about wine and passionate about the brands that they drink. We've got supporters that have been Wente Vineyards supporters for a very long time, and they'll drink nothing but Wente Vineyards. And
Hmm.
it's been great to be able to have that conversation, whereas maybe 5 or 10 years ago, the wine industry wasn't having those conversations. We weren't listening to consumers. We weren't interacting. We weren't asking them, what do you need more? What do you need from us? What do you want to hear from us? How can we make your experience better? And really, these tools, that's all it is. It's about reaching out, it's finding another way to connect with them and just get in front of those passionate people. So these tools, before we were just out on the road and we're talking to people one on one, but these tools really give you a chance to amplify that voice and reach a lot of different people right at once. And it's been incredible just to see the positive effects of that.
Yeah. We're recording this on Thursday before TechSom, and I was having lunch with a couple of the sommeliers here, and they work for a couple different companies, and the two companies they work for had very different attitudes toward this. So one is forbidden from ever using any of his own social media platforms to mention anything about his employer ever. Like that's absolutely forbidden. And in fact, I know that like Apple has that same. Like if you work at the Apple store, you can never ever tweet anything about an Apple product, or you'll be immediately fired. Whereas
Yeah.
the other sommelier worked for another company where they were like really saying, hey, leverage your own social media platforms on behalf of our company. So, tweet about wine or blog about something you ate at a restaurant. And where do you guys come down on that? Those are two very different ends of that continuum that I think a lot of people who are at our social media seminar are going to be struggling with. Where do we land on this? Where do you guys land on that?
Well, I mean, Apple's a whole nother beast. I mean, they're just so tight-lipped about everything, and they like to have these kind of underground leaks. And I think that's what they're trying to avoid is, um, some of those product leaks, like the new iPhone 5 coming out, and what are the features.
Right.
For us, we've been doing the same thing for a long time, more or less, just growing great wines and um, delivering great wine country experiences. And I think I work at one of the best wineries in California, and I'm pretty sure most of the other employees feel the same way. We've got a lot of employees that have been here 25, 30 plus
Mm.
years, and it really just speaks to the family and that crowd. But also, if they're going to say something online, I'm 100% sure that it's going to be something positive, and
Mm.
why not make those ripples out to their friends? So here, definitely encouraged. Um, Granted, I'd probably get a little upset if someone leaks something they shouldn't, but we've never had a problem with it, and I definitely encourage everyone to hop on our networks and get involved.
Yeah. Um, so one of the things that's different about social media marketing than traditional marketing or old school marketing is that social media really lends itself to personal interaction. Like people want it's about connection between actual people. The tricky
Right,
part, I think, both on Facebook and on Twitter, is how do you make a corporate account? So at Wente, like your Twitter feed, for instance, some companies do it where they put a caret and then the initials of the person who tweeted to always give it a personal feel. Um, how do you all deal with that? Like when you have these corporate accounts, how do you keep them personal if they're run by multiple people?
so we always use the voice we as if
Okay.
it's the company as a whole talking. I kind of always think that it means that the employees are behind what's being said, that the family's behind what's being said, the board of directors, everyone really agrees with kind of what's going out. And then the personal aspect, what I've found through trial and error, sadly, is that you can't be all about push, push, push on these
Mm.
social media networks, especially Twitter.
Right.
Um, Twitter is not an avenue to try to sell wine or sell your events. I mean, granted, you might have some success doing that, but it's only after you've really captured your followers' trust by having that conversation. So, the most successful things that I do, be it Facebook or Twitter, which you can kind of measure just based on retweets or posts or likes and stuff like that. They're just real simple things that allow people to interact with the winery, always ask a question to get people involved, respond in a timely manner,
Hmm.
and just make sure that, if you were reaching out to a company, how would you want to be received? And
Yeah.
just keeping that in mind.
I get the impression, and I know not, every winery would have the resources to do this, but you sponsor these concerts, and it seems to me like a way for you to go. There's the Venn diagram, like of the circle of people who love wine, and then
Right.
another thing a lot of people are passionate about is music. And so by
Right.
doing these concerts, it seems like you're able to use these social media platforms to get those two circles to intersect and reach out, right, to increase your brand
Absolutely.
awareness with music lovers.
Absolutely. I mean, we're on our 25th anniversary of concerts at Wente Vineyards, and really our circles just completely overlap.
Okay.
We've got a saying around here, it's good food, good wine, good music, good times. And we really believe on bringing that music dynamic into the wine side of things. So one program that we've been pretty successful with is a program called Discover the Wine, Discover the Music. And this is something that we have a microsite. We initiate on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Outside events, there's POS in the marketplace. So it's really a 360 effort. And what it is our winemaker takes six up and coming bands, and he takes six songs from those bands each year and pairs them with a different wine that he's made from that vintage. And it's just another avenue for people to, well, actually, they get free downloads online at wentevineyards.com/discover, and they have a chance to enter into a sweepstakes um, to come out to Livermore and learn a little bit more from the winemaker. But it's
Nice.
just another avenue to interact with the customer, and make sure that they understand that we're not just making wine out here, that we've got the whole wine country lifestyle as well.
Hmm.
And it just adds to the brand, really. It's been super successful. And we definitely use those social media platforms to help
Right.
amp that up.
How about I know you use Taste Live. Is that's like a wine centric social media platform? Can you tell us a little bit about like what that is and how you guys use it?
Absolutely. So Taste Live is kind of like a one-way Skype. Anyone across the country can kind of log in. So once a month, we take a couple of our wines. We'll do a theme, be it around Chardonnay or a certain tier, um, and we'll invite retailers, distributors, consumers to get their hands on a bottle of wine and then log in at a certain time and taste live with the winemaker. So we'll get our winemaker up there, Carl Wente. He'll talk about the wines a little bit about his interests. Keep it light, keep it fun. But people can also log in via Twitter, ask questions to the winemaker. They'll pop up on our screen, and Carl can answer them live right there on air.
Hmm.
So it's just another way to engage. If people can't make it out to the winery, let's give them an opportunity to really experience the winemaker, the wines, the property, um, to make sure they're not missing out on that aspect of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. Well,
So
it's
those
great.
happen once a month, and
Okay.
then we also do a club taste live. So anytime we do a wine club shipment, um, we have a taste live where they can log on and just hear about their wine club shipments. So they don't necessarily have to crack the bottle. They know when to open it, what it's going to taste like, maybe what to pair it with. Just another way to you know get people involved.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it's all about.
I think I had a glass of your wine on a Delta Airlines flight yesterday.
We do good Delta business.
I bet. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk,
Absolutely.
and I'm glad you could be at
Thank you.
TechSom virtually this year. And
Yeah, we'll get there. Maybe I can come out next year.
I'm
Meet everyone.
sure we would love to have you at TechSom 2012. So,
Great.
thanks a lot, Andrew.
Thanks, Tony. Take care.